is 6:30, and I call to order the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. I don't have my microphone on. Call to order the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. We have a quorum present, and I will hear a motion to consider the minutes of November 18th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Ainsley, second by Francesca. May vote now. Motion carries 5-0. Next item of business is a regular hearing. Consideration of an alternative standard associated with landscaping for a restaurant on approximately 1.99 acres, legally described as a portion of the Bennigan's Addition, Block A, Lot 1A through R, located at 2290 South Simmons Freeway, Zone General Business District, as requested by Warren Hyla of Dynamic Engineering Consultants, PC, on behalf of Tweaker Energy Corporation, the property owner. 25-10-14 altered standard minutes.
Good evening, Commissioners. The property here was once a restaurant and has been vacant for the past several years. A new restaurant user is looking to occupy this, and because of the time of which it's been vacant and the TxDOT take, it's changing a lot of the existing property, changing the parking lot where adjacent to this jug handle and the drive lane there. Per the I-35 overlay, you're required to have a 20-foot buffer where adjacent to the service road, and I apologize, it's adjacent to the service road. The applicant is proposing to construct a 16-foot landscape buffer in order to have a one-way drive lane going in front of the building here. That drive lane is not required for any fire safety. It's just the applicant wants to have additional access here. They're requesting a variance to allow a 16-foot buffer in lieu of the 20-foot buffer, which is a 20% reduction, which the Planning and Zoning Commission can approve. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Staff recommends approval for this alternative standard.
Commissioners? Questions?
Are they going to want to build a restaurant? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes.
In the same area? Yeah, that's been vacant for such a long time. That will be a nice addition.
Is there any way to give them the additional space that they need, but perhaps highlight the landscaping and other portions of the property?
So per the ordinance, they're just required to have a 20-foot buffer. They're still having all the required trees here, and they are adding a new landscape island to the parking lot. So they're providing all the number of plantings required with this. I would have to look into what percentage of green space that would be in that reduction. Any additional green space here would require cutting concrete to add that. Also wanted to note that this landscape buffer is behind a retaining wall that is being built here. That was on, you could see the TxDOT schematic on this portion. Which, the size of the retaining wall, cannot, a 12-foot.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else, Commissioners?
No.
If not, I'll entertain a motion. Thank you, Jonathan.
Motion to approve the alternative standard. As
Motion by Joshua, second by Jack. You may vote now. Motion is approved 5-0.
Commissioners, since there will be no final action, this item stands as approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item of business is a public hearing consideration of a zone change from Old Town Mixed Use 2 District to planned development, Old Town Mixed Use 2 District on .6158 acres, legally described as lots 5, 6, and a portion of lots 11 and 12, Block 3, the O.B. Dick subdivision located at the southwest corner of South Cowan Street and Hickory Street, is requested by Stephen Homeyer, Homeyer Engineering Incorporated, on behalf of the 421 South Cowan Street LLC, the property owners. Case number 24-12-3, Planning and Zoning.
Good evening, Commissioners. Lily Sutton, Planner. This case refers to the applicant trying to rezone these 2 lots to a planned development district with the base zoning of Old Town Mixed Use District 2. It is currently zoned Old Town Mixed Use District 2, which does allow by right for townhomes. However, the applicant is requesting the planned development district in order to alleviate some of the requirements of the UDC. The alley proposed, all units are rear entry for the garages on the first level. Each unit is 3 stories high. The alleys and internal drives, the UDC requires a minimum of 24 feet. The applicant is proposing 18 feet in order to meet the layout and the density that they are seeking for the site. In addition, the UDC also requires a 6-foot screening wall and 10-foot landscape buffer with shade trees planted 50 feet on center for any single-family uses that are developed next to and adjacent to service uses. The property to the south is a contractor service use, so the UDC, as it's written in the standards currently, would require that screening wall along the southern property line. For the site, the applicant is requesting that in lieu of building the screening wall and the landscape buffer, that the existing established trees along the southern property line would act as a living screen, and as it's an infill development. The staff as of today, staff has received 2 letters of opposition for the project. One property owner designated that the reason for their opposition was due to the potential change in property values and not believing that the density fit the area. The additional and second opposition letter received was that the trees on the site were not in good enough condition to act as a living screening. Given all of the elements to the site, the tree exhibit provided by the applicant does show that only 3 of the current trees on site are in poor condition. And from the tree survey, it doesn't seem that any of those are directly along the southern property line. Given all of this information and that townhomes would be allowed by right at this location, even without the planned development unit district, staff does recommend approval. I will take any questions now, and I believe the applicant is here as well.
Commissioners, questions?
I know you listed off what the difference is between the Old Town Mixed Use 2 and the PD. Do you mind listing those off again for me? I'm sorry if I didn't jot them down the first time.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The items that they're seeking alleviation from are largely just within the UDC as a whole, and so they're not as specific to Old Town Mixed Use District 2. The differences are that screening wall, not having to do the 6-foot screening wall with the 10-foot landscape buffer and shade trees planted 50 feet on center along the southern property boundary, and an alleviation from the 24-foot minimum requirement for the internal drives and the alleys, and to reduce that to 18 with this PD.
Are there other examples of alleys with the reduction to 18 within Lewisville? That seems kind of tight.
I am not sure, and I'm not aware of any that have been reduced to 18, but I can definitely do research and get back to you, but not to my knowledge.
This has been reviewed by the fire department. They are part of our development review committee, and they had no objections with the layout, especially since all of these units will be sprinkled.
Thank you.
I probably didn't read it closely enough, but this does fall within Old Town?
It is within the Old Town Design District, and the Old Town Design and Development Review Committee did approve the elevations and the site layout for the plan in November of 2024.
Further questions?
In the general vicinity, they describe a similar development done by the developer previously. How close is that to this?
The brownstone development is along West Walters,
Just right behind it?
just,
Okay.
just north of City Hall. So I'm not sure what the exact linear feet would be, but
It's
relatively.
relative,
But this is just for the zone change.
correct.
It's about half a mile.
This hearing is for zone change only.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, I will open the public hearing. If you would like to speak, please come forward, state your name and address, please, and we would be happy to hear from you. Before you come forward, I am reading two names into the record. William Wedge, who was one of the people that contacted the planners earlier, and Diana Blades. Anyone else who'd like to come forward? We'd love to hear from you. Having no one come forward, I will close the public hearing. Commissioners? Last chance.
I'm glad that some of the residents reached out, and my concerns kind of mirror theirs. In that that's a small piece of property. Cowan's a busy street. The southern property owner is requesting a retaining wall, which would have been required if they'd have kept the current zone. And the 18-foot drive is really small, and we all know that people end up parking on the street anyway. So I don't know, I'm not a fan of this layout or this plan, but that's up to all of us to decide, so.
You can read it into the motion.
If I could clarify a little
Thank
bit
you.
additional information related to the private alley. Again, the private alley was the primary reason this was brought to you as a planned development. Otherwise, this use is allowed by right under the current zoning. Staff has entertained many different proposals for townhomes on this site over the years, and this is one where we've really worked with, staff worked with the developer. There's actually 27 feet between garage doors and the sides of the homes to the west, so that that is designed for maneuvering room, so that folks can, so that the owners can maneuver in and out of their driveways or at their garages. And like I said, that's one of the primary reasons why it was just a very tight site. Unfortunately, I believe the developer tried to acquire the property to the south, which would have allowed a continuous alley and would have allowed a little bit more flexibility with the layout of the arrangements of the lots for the houses. Staff was in compliance with UDC, promoted the idea that these be rear entry. Again, the UDC does not allow front entry unless, they're much wider lots. Typically, in Old Town, you will probably not see any townhomes. And again, that goes back to the Old Town plan that requires the front porches and front doors to be brought up to the street, to engage the street, make it more walkable. And again, the example is right here behind City Hall. That was actually the same builder. He was inspired by that project and used a lot of the same elements on this project to lay this out. And again, this is why this unique layout resulted in the plan development before you tonight.
I will also add, in addition, for the guest parking spaces, the applicant is proposing 5 on-street parking spaces for guests, as well as 2 parking spaces that are on-site. So they are meeting the requirement through the on-street and on-site. They do meet the guest parking requirement.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
I want to make a motion to recommend approval of the zone change since the fire department has given their expert opinion. I support this decision.
Motion by Francesca.
Second by Josh.
John. Thank you. Motion carries 4-1.
Commissioners, this item will be considered by the City Council, who will hold a second public hearing and make a final decision on Monday, January 5th, 2026 at 7:00 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Announcements?
I do have a really good announcement to share with you this evening. Lily Sutton, our Planner 1, sat for the AICP exam, the American Institute of Certified Planners, last Wednesday, and she passed. So she now has the credential of AICP candidate.
Congratulations.
Please don't be embarrassed. It's a good thing. And we're not surprised.
Thank you.
A very, very difficult exam. She put many, many hours in preparing for that. We're very proud of her.
In that case, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Francesca, second by Jack. We are adjourned.
Josh.